Have you ever woken up from a really weird dream? I mean, a really weird one. And then you grab your phone and boom, there's an ad for something creepily similar. Yeah, you are not alone. That feeling has launched this huge online theory that our phones are actually listening to our dreams. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and debunk this sleep ad myth. So let's just ask the big question right up front, shall we? Is your phone literally reading your mind while you sleep, just to sell you stuff? It sounds crazy, I know, and honestly, a theory this wild deserves a straight answer. So let's find one. All right, section 1, a dream-reading phone. Where on earth did this idea even start? To get to the bottom of it, we need to do a little investigating and look at the story behind the myth.
Now, this whole theory even has a name that sounds kind of official, DreamSync. To figure out if there's any truth to it, first, we've got to understand how people claim it's supposed to work.
So online, they call it DreamSync, and the story goes that it's this secret feature, maybe buried deep inside your phone, that is somehow monitoring the actual substance of your dreams, and then selling that info to advertisers. It definitely has a sci-fi vibe, but is it science fact? The process that people describe actually sounds, well, deceptively simple. Okay, so step 1, your phone figures out when you're in REM sleep. That's the sleep cycle where you have the most vivid dreams. Step 2, it somehow decodes what those dreams are actually about. And then step 3, it hits you with a perfectly targeted ad based on that dream. Sounds plausible, right? Let's see. Okay, so that's the myth. And you have to admit, it's a compelling story. But now, let's talk about what the tech in your phone is actually doing while you sleep. The reality is, well, it's a lot less science fiction, but it's still pretty fascinating. And here it is. This is the absolute core of the misunderstanding. The myth has you picturing your phone as some kind of mind reader, but the reality, it's so much simpler. Your phone's sleep tracking is all about motion. It's just tracking how much you toss and turn. It's focused on your body, not your brain. The piece of tech doing all the work here is called an accelerometer. And it's a standard sensor that's in pretty much every single phone. All it does is measure motion. It's how your phone knows if you're walking or running, or in this case, just rolling over in bed. It's clever, for sure, but it can only measure physical movement. Reading your mind? That's a whole different ballgame. And that right there, that brings us to what we can call the impossible leap. Because the gap between tracking your body's movement and actually reading your innermost thoughts, well, that gap is precisely where this entire myth just completely falls apart. I mean, it all boils down to this fundamental truth. Dreams are this incredibly complex thing happening inside your skull. It's a mix of memories, feelings, and electrical signals firing in your brain. Your phone, sitting over there on the nightstand, it can tell when you move, but it has absolutely zero access to the movie that's playing inside your head. So let's be 100% clear on this. The technology to remotely scan your brain, let alone decode your dreams, it just doesn't exist. Not in your phone, not in some secret government lab, not anywhere. For now, at least, it is pure science fiction. Okay, so we've busted the DreamSync myth, but let's be real, another one is probably just around the corner. So the question is, how can you spot the next wild tech claim that comes your way? Let's put together a quick and easy fact-checking tool. Here is the absolute key takeaway from all of this. Whenever you hear a tech claim that just sounds too wild, too futuristic, or honestly too invasive, just pause, take a breath. A quick search for what an actual scientist or a reputable tech journalist has to say is all it takes. In a world full of crazy claims, a little bit of healthy skepticism is your best friend. But this leaves us with one last, really nagging question. We've proven our phones aren't reading our dreams, so why does it still feel like they are? If it's not our subconscious thoughts, what data are they using that makes them seem to know us so incredibly well? Now that is a fascinating question for another time. Thanks for joining this explainer.